Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so talk about the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, who will be playing tomorrow at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, I believe is what time that game starts, in Los Angeles. And the Warriors and the Clippers just faced off in the final game of the season. They were both playing for something, so you kind of got to look at what this looks like. Golden State didn't even have to leave town, because the next game is going to be the exact same game. This isn't the first time the play-in tournament has been that way, too, to be honest with you. I think the Lakers had a situation like that where we had to play the Pelicans, I believe it was, or something like that. And then we had to play the Pelicans again in the play-in tournament. So it's not the first time that that's happened. But it is what it is, man. The Golden State Warriors and the Clippers will be playing that building again. They won. The Clippers got the victory 115-110. And, of course, the Golden State Warriors are banged up. I think that needs to be said. Golden State Warriors are missing so many people, man. Half of their team is injured. Jimmy Butler out for the season. L.J. Cryer out for the season. Draymond Green is a game-time decision in this one. Moses Moody out for the season, of course. Quentin Post, game-time decision. Meanwhile, the Clippers, of course, Bradley Beal's been out since early in the season. Isaiah Jackson's a game-time decision. Kawhi's a game-time decision. And Niederhauser is out for the season. So, you know, it's one of those situations where you expect the Clippers just should be more capable because they have more of what they need on the basketball floor. You know, once again, it's the Golden State Warriors in the play-in tournament. I think they've been in the play-in tournament more than they've not, to be honest with you. If the play-in tournament is being played, the Clippers are involved in it. And they usually end up going home in it. And I don't think this is going to be any different, honestly. I think the Clippers are a more capable basketball team. We don't even have to waste time with that. I am not a fan of the Golden State Warriors roster at all right now. I think a lot of what it is that they got isn't really working out. Although I think they might have found something as of late with Charles Bassey. And I really like how Guy Santos has been playing. So you got to take that into account as well. Maybe they've turned the corner in terms of what they're doing. Some of these guys that they're just started paying attention to, just started bringing to their situations, looking pretty good. I like the Will Richard rookie. He looks nice. So, you know, maybe they're turning the corner in a way. We'll see what they do in the draft. Steph Curry's back. Definitely will be available for this play-in tournament game. He's always an extreme X factor when you consider going up against a roster that's more talented than him. If he has a night where he goes for 50, which he's still capable of doing, he can throw everything off. And this is why I'm not a huge fan of the one-game situation, but play-in tournament, you know, I think it's set up right. It's like watching a one game 7 from mediocre squads, game 7. You know what I mean? So I like it, but I just think that it doesn't really tell the story of who probably deserves to be there. Because let's say, for example, the Clippers have a bad night, Golden State has a good night, and now they're in the playoffs, and the Clippers are going home. I think it's very clear to me that the Clippers are a better team. So I just think maybe it would be good if there were 3 games, but that's not how this is set up. So, yeah, man. When you talk about the Clippers and the Golden State Warriors, the Clippers have dominated the season series. Context of those games, I haven't really done homework on them. Who was there, who wasn't. But the Golden State Warriors won the first matchup 98-79 back on 10-28, the very beginning of the season. And then on 1-5, the Clippers won a 1-point game in Los Angeles. Then Golden State lost 114 on 3-2, March the 2nd. They lost by 13 to these Clippers in their own building. And then was the game that just took place where the Clippers had a 5-point win. The Clippers have made some really, really good roster decisions themselves as of late. Moved on from James Harden, brought in Darius Garland, brought in Ben Mathurin, brought in Isaiah Jackson, and moved on from Zubac. But I do think that this is a very capable basketball club. John Collins has been playing better of late. He had an 8-12 game in that 9 board, so he's well into his bag right now. Derek Jones, cold night there in that last game. Darius Garland, cold game in that last one. I'm pretty sure he'll bounce back against Steph in this one. But you just talk about a very capable bench for the Clippers. Jordan Miller, Bogdanovich all had good games. Ben Mathurin, of course, coming off that bench. Batum, who's still hitting threes. Kobe Sanders, who's been playing very well this year. So, I just think the Clippers have the more capable team. A guy like Garland, finally healed from the toe injury. Should be ready to do some good things out there tomorrow in a one-game situation. Meanwhile, with the Golden State Warriors, you got wily veterans like Al Horford and Porzingis, which could presume to be a problem if you consider size being something that they have an abundance of versus the Clippers, who may not. After trading away Zubats, that may come to haunt them tomorrow. But the guys like Guy Santos, Charles Bassey has just been balling out of his mind. I don't know if he's available for the playoffs or not. I'm just assuming he is, but there may have been some reason he wouldn't be. That would be unfortunate for the Warriors because he is definitely somebody they need to be playing a lot of minutes going forward for the rest of this process. So, Pat Spencer is somebody you got to take into account. Gary Payton's in good shape right now. He's been playing great. He's a definite X factor tomorrow. Gary Payton coming into LA, he could blow the game up for the Clippers for sure. The way he's been playing, I'm telling y'all, he could blow that game up. And so I would be on guard if I'm the Clippers. I think that you would expect the Clippers to win. It's in their building. Kawhi Leonard, if he's playing, you obviously expect for him to go head-to-head with Steph Curry. He's very difficult to beat in situations like this. More athleticism, explosiveness from the Clippers with Mathurin and guys like that, and Collins. So, it's a little more of a toss-up as I look at it. Just from a roster perspective, talk about Porzingis and what he can do from behind the arc in a one-game situation, blocking shots. Podziemski's been kind of hot lately, even though he was cold in the last 2 games. Prior to that, doing homework on the Golden State Warriors very recently, he's been shooting much better. Like I said, Guy Santos been balling, man. So this could be an interesting game. Obviously, you expect Draymond to play in this one. He did not play in the last game of the season against these Clippers, so the Clippers have to take that into account, that you definitely did not see the full Golden State Warrior experience with Draymond not out there. He should be available. I don't think he's going to miss a play-in tournament game. Even if he is hurt, he's going to play. I can guarantee you he's playing. So, yeah, man, it's a winner-take-all. This is a situation where, because it's the 9th and 10th seed, if you lose, that's your season. That's really what it comes down to. And so I kind of just hate how things shook up in that regard, because I do think that there was some log jams near the end of the season. And in some of these cases with these play-in tournaments, the better team is in the worst spot. Like, for example, in the East, the Hornets shouldn't probably be in the 9-10 game. Maybe that should be Orlando, with as bad as they've been struggling lately, or the Sixers, who couldn't keep anybody healthy. Probably not the Sixers, but Orlando, as bad as they've been playing, they should probably be down there. In this situation, I think Phoenix, with as much struggles as they've had, maybe you swap them with the Clippers, since the Clippers have probably been the better team of the two over the last 3 months or so. But it's just shook out this way. So, yeah, I think that you would expect the Clippers to find a way to win at home. But when you're going up against Steph Curry, it's very difficult to really determine if that experience is not going to harm you. This Clipper team is fairly new. They don't really know each other that well, but they do have some experience of their own. A guy like Ben Mathurin has now been to a finals, played in a Game 7. So you would expect for him to come up big tomorrow. Him, Kawhi Leonard, those guys, they should come up big tomorrow. Garland is such a talented player, still trying to find his footing with this squad. I think he will come up big tomorrow. So it's a lot making me feel like the Clippers should win this game, but I just think when I really settle into what my opinion is, I do think the Golden State Warriors know each other a bit more. There's a bit more size if you value that type of thing, and the Warriors can get just hot enough from behind the arc to make things very uncomfortable for you. When you're talking about Steph Curry, you're talking about Porzingis, talking about Moses Moody's get well soon. But we're talking about guys who can hit shots. Podziemski, this is gonna be a war, man. In a 1-game situation, I'm not as confident. If this were a 7-game situation, I would be very confident that the Clippers will find a way to win that thing, probably in 6. But there are 2 games in my prediction where the Golden State Warriors win. That could be this one. So this is going to be dangerous. I will say this. I am not overly confident the Clippers going to win this game. I am not. Because it's just a 1-game situation. It ain't really got nothing to do with nothing. It's just that any 1-game situation, especially when you're going up against Chef. That could be your backside, man. But I feel the same way about Kawhi. So what are you going to do? I think Kawhi's team's the more capable team right now, the more healthy team right now, but I think Steph's team's the more battle-tested lately. They know one another better. They've worked with a lot less of what they're used to lately, to where they've had to try to compete with just Guy Santos and Podziemski pretty much. So, they're a bit more healthy right now than they've been over the last 3 weeks. Not saying much since they're missing a good portion of their team. But still, they've had to rely on role players who should be ready to take on a bigger role, who should accompany their stars a bit more than maybe they would have since that being the case. And that's a real dynamic. When your guys are out, my Lakers are finding this out right now, you start learning who else you can count on, who else can take on heavier loads. And then when the stars get back, those players are significantly more confident and likely more capable to help even more so. And so I look at a guy like Guy Santos and say he's been having 30-point games with double-doubles and stuff like that. Now he's had to get back in the role that he was in. But he's more than capable of taking on the load. Let's say Steph Curry's having a bad night. You can switch into Guy Santos mode and he can go off. As to where before Steph initially got hurt, before those guys went down, you didn't really see that. So more capable Golden State role players than maybe you're anticipating if you're the Clippers, if you ain't been watching close enough. My gut is telling me the Clippers could be in some trouble, honestly, just because there is some things there about this situation that makes me feel uncomfortable. You give a guy like Steve Kerr a chance to see you right before, and then you got to turn around and play him again. He gets to insert Draymond. There becomes a situation where the adjustments could be the thing. This is almost like a mini-series anyway, since they just played this team 2 days ago in this same building. So, they know one another at this point. And I think that's dangerous, man. But I think it's a fairly even game. I think it's going to be a good game. And I'm going to pick the Clippers to come out on top. I am. Because I just think when you're looking at situations like this, you don't want to overthink it. You just say, hey, the more capable team happens to be the home court team. You got dangerous champions, Hall of Famers on both sides. You got well-oiled machine role players on both sides. It should be a battle, but I'm just going to go with the home team who's a bit more healthy. But I would not be at all surprised if Podziemski and Guy Santos and Porzingis and Steph Curry just lead this thing, man, and get them a win in this building. Wouldn't shock me, especially with their season on the line. Those vets, they won so many championships together. Him and Draymond, Steph and Steve Kerr, they've won so much, man. But then when you look at the Clippers, you say, okay, well, that's Kawhi Leonard. You got to deal with the robot over there. And now they got younger and more athletic players. You talk about all these wings that the Clippers are throwing at you, Jordan Miller, Mathurin, Kawhi. It's a lot of size, a lot of wings. And I just think that with the Clippers having that and Golden State being down so many wings, you're relying on more small ball lineups with the Golden State Warriors. Although the Warriors have Quentin Post and Draymond and Porzingis, so you would think the Clippers would be the smaller team. But some of the rotations that Steve Kerr tends to use makes them the smaller team, which makes them more likely to jump shoot their way through whatever. As to where the Clippers, I think, are a bit more athletic, have a bit more wingy size, to where if you do that, you can find yourself in a situation where you're the smaller team any damn way. So how Steve Kerr utilizes his roster, who he turns to, may tell the story. Because I think with the Clippers, you have more conventional roster structuring, to where whatever you decide to do, you pretty much have a little more balance. Brook Lopez is extremely important because he's going to be the size out there going up against the Al Horfords and the Porzingises and the Draymonds. It's just a lot less size on the Clippers side of things. I think the Golden State Warriors are likely to be the better rebounding team in a game like this. John Collins is going to be extremely important. He can't get outworked by some of those front court guys. So this is going to be interesting, man. This is going to be very interesting. I know these are two misfit squads. Obviously, this is not the cream of the crop, but it's California battle. These teams did just see each other a couple nights ago, and I think you got to give the Clippers a lot of credit for fighting their way into the play-in tournament. They started the season as one of the worst teams in basketball. It looked like all was going to fail. Now they did unfortunately allow for their pick to be a lottery pick, which goes to the Thunder, so we all dread what could be possible there. But overall, you got to give the credit to the Los Angeles Clippers for even finding themselves in this situation. Making trades to improve their basketball team, risky trades that moved on from a Hall of Famer like James Harden and a fantastic center like Zubac. But I think their team is more capable in the future with more athleticism and an easier build forward for themselves by adding Mathurin and Garland to this situation in those guys' stead. I don't know if that means they're going to be better for this year's playoffs, but for their overall franchise health, I think those were good sound trades. And so we'll see. We will see if this works out for the Clippers. I think the Golden State Warriors have been mediocre all season, whether they had all their players or not. The good majority of the time they didn't. But they've been fairly mediocre. And I just lean into the Clippers being an overall better team this year than the Golden State Warriors. The standings tell you that as well. This is why Clippers have home court. And I just feel like the Golden State Warriors are going to end up going home. But there's a lot that goes into a one-game situation. And Steph Curry will be on the floor healthy. And that's something that Kawhi and the gang need to be aware of. And so I'm picking Kawhi. I'm picking the Clippers to win this basketball game, go on and play the San Antonio's. No, that's not how that works. What they will end up doing is going on to play the loser from the Blazers-Suns matchup. And if they beat that team, then they will go on to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's how that goes. Make that very clear. But that's what I think is going to happen. I think the Clippers will move on and be able to play the Suns. If my prediction holds up, I think the Blazers go on to play San Antonio, winning their game tonight. But, yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I think the Clippers will win this game, and the Golden State Warriors will go home. Go home right away, man. I'm not overly confident, but I honestly don't think the Clippers are going home this early. I don't think so. Clippers are a misfit franchise. We know that. But I think that they've been the better team for the last 4 months probably. And with this game being in their house, that should be very helpful for them. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to go with the LA squad, even though I loathe the Clippers very much. I also don't like the Golden State Warriors either. So I'm definitely not picking with my heart on this one. I'm just going to go with the Clippers and call it a day. So I appreciate everybody for rocking with BDF44. I'm out.